What's up, everyone? This is Bacon, and today we are talking about Scarlet, the new hero that just was released in AFK Companions. Scarlet is a light bearer mage hero. She is burst damage as her primary role, and she's a really exciting hero. She was super good and still is very viable in the classic version of the game, and I think she'll still be really solid in Companions, even though she has a few nerfs, but I think she still will have a lot of viability. But let's go ahead and jump into her kit, and then I will kind of talk about more about where I think she'll be usable and if you should pull for her at this point in the game. So her ultimate skill, Scarlet unleashes a torrent of dark energy that strikes 12 times. Each strike deals damage to a random enemy for 140% of attack rating and inflicts them with the 1 stack of dark miasma, which lasts for 5 seconds and can be stacked up to 5 times. This skill has a 20% chance of striking allies, but allies will not be inflicted with dark miasma. Each strike deals damage to a random enemy target for 180% of the attack rating at level 2. And at level 3, this skill has a 5% chance of striking enemies. This is, if you've seen her before, this is her ability, her classic one, where it brings like the balls falling from the sky and it just hits a bunch of random people. Or if there's only one enemy, it just hits them like 12 times or whatever. This is, as I like to say, her bread and butter. This is where all her damage comes from. Or most of it rather, because she does have some good bursty things and other skills. So let's go ahead and look at our next ability, Arcane Absorption. Scarlet drains 10% of max health from all units within range in front of her, capped at 600% of her attack rating per unit. For every unit from which Scarlet drains health, she recovers 5 energy up to a maximum of 200 energy. I believe this 200 energy cap is new, and then this 50 is a little bit lower than it was before. I think it was 80. Is what her classic version was. She also had a little bit of a damage reduction nerf here, but the number of strikes is the same and the seconds the same. So one thing to keep in mind. At level 2, after draining health from an ally, Scarlet heals them gradually over the following 3 seconds for the amount of value that was originally drained. Level 3, for every unit from which Scarlet drains health, she recovers 90 energy, not to exceed 360 energy. Level 4 unlocks Arcane Absorption skill upgrade. This is, I believe, going to be in here. Yep. The first star of Divine Effects. Draining health from an allied unit dispels most of their debuffs. Each time Scarlet dispels an ally's debuff, she recovers an extra 60 energy, not to exceed 240. So, adds a little bit of pizzazz to her kit. The health draining, I don't think, is a huge, massive ability. You know, obviously it's a nice thing to have. That 10% can be really valuable, but just kind of a nice little thing added to her kit. And the heal is also nice, kind of gives her a little bit of sustainability. And so that's a little fun thing about her. She has a little bit of a very offensive kit, but has a little bit of sustain in there as well. You have a passive, or she has a passive that is very short. I love to see that. Enemies with 5 stacks of dark miasma enter a state of shaded corruption and are unable to move or use skills. So basically at 5 stacks, you kind of get stunned. When an enemy target has at least 1 stack of miasma, each stack reduces their healing. Enemies in a state of shaded corruption lose 60 energy points every second, and duration of dark miasma is increased to 7 seconds at level 4. So this is a really nice kind of CC part of her kit. The stun is really nice, and it also removes the energy gain or any energy they have, and so this really prevents enemies to do really anything. So it's kind of like a stun block, and also just prevents them from ulting, which is really nice bonus. And then another passive, Dark Aura. When a target on the battlefield has lower than 15% health, Scarlet creates a dark aura underneath the area with the highest concentration of enemies. She then teleports the target into the center of the aura and detonates them. The target and all enemies within Dark Aura are dealt damage equal to 620% of Scarlet's attack rating, and this can only be triggered over 20 seconds. So this is kind of like the big burst part of her kit. You have the miasma coming down, and then when someone gets low, you put them in the circle and kind of pop them. And assuming, because they're so low and because this is such a high percent, they just die. Kind of like an execution. There's no guarantee that the hero will be executed. There's ways to kind of get around it, but most cases they're just going to die. And then at level 2, it can be triggered over 15 seconds, and then the damage increases 720. Like with other things, these percentiles have been kind of decreased, nerfed a little bit, but still very valuable in my opinion. Let's look at her divine effects. This is already one of her skill upgrades. At 3 stars, each cast of Scarlet's ultimate permanently increases its damage on subsequent casts by 40% of her attack rating, capped at 200%. And then ultimate skill deals 8 additional strikes. So if you're going to be building her out, you're going to want to 5-star her. Those 8 additional strikes are huge. This damage increase is huge. There's no way around it. You're going to have to max her out. She's going to be heavy investment, but I believe very, very worth it. So let's go ahead and look at her signature item at last. Enemies struck by Scarlet's ultimate skill carry residual dark energy that randomly explodes within 8 seconds, and then all enemies within the range of the explosion are dealt damage equal to 120% of her attack rating. Damage goes up at 10. At 20, dark energy detonates instantly when the enemy is struck by Scarlet's ultimate again. And then when residual dark energy detonates, it deals an additional 4% max damage health to the enemy carrying it. Yeah, so additional damage dealt cannot exceed 280% of her attack rating. So Scarlet, even though she has some nerfs with some of her numbers, I still think she's just a really good hero. Her kit is great, especially for those looking to crank out damage. For light bearers, there's Belinda and Gwyneth are the 2 damage dealers, but I think Scarlet can definitely fit in there. I don't know for sure, but I think Scarlet for sure will be better than Belinda, and I think she'll probably be better than Gwyneth. I don't know for sure, but that's just my guess. So I think she will be worth investing in. I don't think she's worth using your Destiny summons yet. I would make sure that she gets tested, make sure she's good to go. If you are considering that, I think it's best for all these heroes just to wait and save your Destiny summon scrolls for dimensional hero events, because we know that's what they're going to be like in the future going forward. And they're just, the value with the dimensional heroes is just way higher because you can get these eventually. You get a lot of summons in general, so it's not like a huge deal to wait a little bit unless you're really impatient, you just want her now. But the thing is, you do need a ton of summons to even get her to 5-star. So keep that in mind. Like, it's going to be a lot of diamonds and a lot of scrolls to get her to that max level, which is where you're going to want her. As far as investing goes, you want her at 5-star. You want her signature item built out all the way. She's a heavy, she's a greedy unit that needs a lot of investment, but is definitely going to be worth it in my opinion. And as far as where she'll be good at, I think she'll be good at everywhere. I think she'll be good. I can't think of anywhere she won't be good. So keep that in mind. Maybe PvP isn't her best area or her weakest of everything else, but I think she still could find a spot to be in there because there's so many waves, obviously, in PvP. But she's not going to be like SSS tier for PvP. I think she might be like S, which is still really good. But Campaign, Forked Fate, Lightbearer Tower, Normal Tower, Guild Boss, Dream Realm, like literally everywhere she's going to be good at. That's just the nature of this type of hero where she just does a lot of damage, has some sustain, has single target. Like, she just has everything as far as damage goes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Arena of Trials just to see what she looks like when she's attacking. Let's battle these bad boys. So yep, there's the circle thing that the unit gets put into, and then detonates and just kills everyone. And you saw the little miasma balls falling down too. You could see her healing a second ago. There's the thing, boom. Can't even see her do anything because she just blows them up. But you can see her ability comes down. She's sucking some energy from people. Pops them. With her, she is extremely, extremely good with Rosalina or Rosaline, whatever her name is, because just the ability to proc her ult over and over repeatedly. And she does get that buff from every time she casts it. And then the more often units are hit with her ultimate, certain things proc and basically do more damage. And so just the more often you can get that ultimate going, the better. The combo that I've seen in the past for Guild Boss and other kind of single target heroes or modes is Scarlet paired with Rosaline, and then you have Rain in there, and it's a lot of damage that gets cranked out. And so I'm thinking that's what's going to be used for Guild Boss and maybe some Dream Realms. But we'll see. She is an exciting hero. I'm excited to get her eventually, but I will not be pulling for her. But I'm very excited to see the kind of damage that she is putting out for those who are going to be spending for her. But that is my Scarlet video, guys. Hopefully that's helpful. If you do pull her, let me know what you think. And best of luck. And as always, if you like my videos, make sure you like and subscribe below. And have a great rest of your day. Peace.